Every place I've gone has got unique characteristics about it, and every place I've gone before had unique challenges. I hope what I can bring is a skill set that I've learned in other places. I've made it pretty clear in every place I've ever been how much I love Calgary, so it's not something that people haven't heard from me in the past. My first impression is the sort of recovering from the flood is a lot more extensive than I thought. You know, I'd read the newspapers and I'd seen the maps, but when you actually see the damage that was caused and the infrastructure that needs to be rebuilt, when you compound that infrastructure that we need to build and rebuild as a result of the flood with responding to 30,000 people moving into the city, so all the new infrastructure that needs to be constructed, it's a bit overwhelming just to get my head wrapped around that. You know, I think we need to have a better corporate management process, or system. I'm going to call it a system. You know, we need to make sure that our measurement, that we have a common system of performance measurement. We need to be able to identify ways to continuously improve and to process manage the systems that we operate. I'm going to be talking about a service-based approach, which really identifies not the cost of departments, but the cost of services. A little bit more on risk management. I think in this day and age, especially when you're managing 15,000 employees and $3 billion budget, that you have to have better oversight on risk. And the last one is really try to connect that individual who's working in the front lines to the things that are happening corporately, so that the better line of sight. See, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to tackle the operating budget in my as a first priority. I'm going to look at the capital budget. And the reason I say that is with the capital budget and the investment that you make in capital, that increases your operating cost. So you need to understand exactly what you're adding to your operating budget as a result of the capital that you're investing. And so if you're not taking on additional cost, you're managing your operating costs. So that's going to be my first priority. And there's a motion that on the table right now to recast the capital budget, to re-examine the capital budget and align it more closely to priorities. So, and that's a great start.
Do you feel it's misaligned right now?
Yeah, I think it is. And the reason I say that, if you take a look at, this is a new council. They all have different priorities. We've got to respond to the flood. That generates an additional amount of investment. And on top of that, there's federal dollars now coming down the pipe for infrastructure as well. So there's a fair amount of investment that's necessary. And you're going to have to make some critical decisions about how that investment is made and what that return on investment looks like.